what I did, I got the same one, noemi-dado@blogspot.com. I'm the real Noemi Dado. He used this to harass me because I was defending a Filipina because she said she's a scammer. But she was not. She was just a victim. And because I have a website called FilipinaImages.com, I started this in 2007 and social media wasn't very popular. So I interviewed her and asked her, did you really get 80,000 from this British? And then we talked for like 2 hours and I interviewed her. I documented it. And then she showed me her, no, not, she didn't want, I didn't want to see it, but she said, I can see the ectopic pregnancy. And this angered this guy, her boyfriend, Tim Comper, because I was defending her. And then being a very techie guy too, Tim Comper, noticed that my IP address and the boss IP address of this girl match. But I don't even know this guy. I don't know what happened to Globe, but we had 2 IP addresses. I'm in Basic Pasig, and her boss is in Paranaque. But I called the man, the boss, and said, I want to know your side. Was this really a scam? No. I wanted to, because the boyfriend didn't want to give money for a corporate operation, I advanced it. And he said, I was just being a good boss, and now he's harassing me. You know what he did? He wrote so many blog posts about her and myself. And it all came out in the first page of the search engine of the pages, results. And because I think he attacked all my friends, not even my enemies. My critic, I had a not really an enemy, but a critic. The critic thought I was just being, but to make a short story, the Tim Comper thought my critic was on my side. So, inami pa niya yung critic, nangyari, it became bigger, and they made a campaign and wrote posts, and Tim Comper suddenly is not in the first page, it's all against him. So we balanced the entries, right? So this is taking back the tech. So he used the technology to harass me and the girl, but because we were writing about it, we were reporting about it, so suddenly may balance na. So when you Google my name, hindi lang naman ako, defending a Filipina, I'm also a scammer, things like that. So, I met her and said, I just want to show that I interviewed you. And the Filipina images, actually that also is something about, I didn't think of it as violence, but in 2007, when you Google Filipina, always about dating sites, always about people doing there's nothing wrong with that. But you want also the world to know that we are professionals too, they're mothers. So we made this campaign, we just write about ourselves. So we have a balance in the search results, right? So that's the purpose of this. And it's the same way in taking back technology to empower ourselves so that if there's a victim, you write about it. Because, like what happened to the Amalayer hashtag, it's only against her. Nobody wrote her side. Eventually I did lessons learned. Okay, there's another way you take back the technology. So Gabriela, I think it was just last year, did also a creative way. They made a video. It was called Manila Scandal Part 2. So it's so attractive, di ba? So because probably there's a Manila Scandal Part 1. So, alam mo naman mag-search kayo, scandal, I tested that, scandal. I use also that search word, the keyword. So they would go also to Philippine English. So I could educate them about scandal. This is actually an educational video, Scandal Part 2. Just so that you as a user will also be enlightened, informed that there are emotions involved, there's violence in spreading the video. So instead of spreading the original video of maybe videos of undressed women, this video is also turning around. So it also balances the negative videos that's circulating. This is taking back the tech, using again the same technology to fight and to take some action. So if you are, is there a blog post against you? You write another blog post. If there's a video against you, you put a video. It's just so, you won't look like a one-sided story. And the government also should analyze technology-related violence cases based on evidence to craft effective mechanisms to address it. We also need encouragement to use technology platforms like the internet to educate and empower themselves. But usually they're very shy. They don't want to report. And then I'm against the Cybercrime Act. I was the 15th petitioner. The last, under the Philippine Internet Freedom Group Alliance, my stand is to repeal the law. And the cyber sex provision is very vague. Elements of the crime under the cyber sex provisions are not well defined. Therefore, the law poses more harm to women who are usual victims of sexual violence in cyberspace. So we need to have, for prevention, concrete programs to guide women and other users of their rights, looking at ICT as a space of women's empowerment. So it's very big in cybersex. What if it's between couples, partners? So that's not very well defined. Now, we netizens, my friends and I and some lawyers, drafted the Magna Carta for Philippine Internet Freedom, and we pitched it to Senator Miriam, and it was filed already, I think 2 weeks ago. So I hope you'll help us support this. We're going around the Philippines to educate students, even legislators. They don't know that internet freedom is a right. So we need to educate them. So the Senate Bill number 3327 and the Magna Carta. Now, in the bill, Section 31 provides ICT-enabled prostitution and trafficking as criminal too. So our cybercrime law is not so what's this? Comprehensive. The Magna Carta is comprehensive, but it's not going to replace the cybercrime law. You can look it up in the internet. I already placed that in my site, blogwatch.tv. So how else do we reclaim the ICT to end violence against women? You have to tell stories. So if you know someone, you tell them to share their story. You can always put, especially for children, you don't have to put their real names or their faces, but share it. And we have the website, phtakebacktetech.net, where you can report, we can document tech-related gender violence. And there's a cell phone, there's a Facebook, and there's a map. You can also map the violence because we need to document that. If it's not documented, there will never be any action, and the government cannot provide any programs. So yes, we document it, we map it, we end it, and we demand change. So we all need to, we all need to take action. So what can you do to end violence? Any experience, report or cases of technology-related violence, your own experience, someone's experience. Of course, you have to get permission and consent. Stories from this report, you can make commentaries about that. Describe the date and location, technology platform use, and any contact number to verify. It will be really helpful to document this, so we will know how to prevent it. This is the map in phtakebacktetech.net. So there's a way to submit a report. It will be very, of course, contact information is needed so that you can verify this violence. And technology platform use. It's being used around the world already. This is the Philippines. So technology should give us freedoms, not fears. So we, instead of just scared of clicking or doing the wrong thing, just know when how to use it to empower ourselves, right? So that's the website that I was telling you about, phtakebacktetech.net. You can look at it up now. And I'd like to credit my colleagues at the Foundation for Media Alternatives, MICA, and Take Back the Tech for this presentation, because without them, it will not be that comprehensive. So there, I hope you learned a lot from this. All the things that I was discussing here, it's all in the website, the details. It's very detailed, even the tools, the digital apps, the apps that you can download, it's all there, even the tools to document. So go to the website, takebacktetech.net. I didn't want to occupy too much time discussing about it. And I'm open to question and answer portion. Any questions?
For those who have any questions, we have a mic in front, or if ever, you can just give your questions to any of our ushers, and then we'll just forward it on. So please don't be shy. I'm sure all of you have a lot of questions, especially hashtag I'm a lawyer. It's very interesting.
Yeah, there on the back.
There's a mic in
Hello,
Hi.
my name is Ruben Dumalus. I'm a social worker
Oh,
at now. And my question is this, because, for example, if we're going to clean up the net, the violence, there will be a problem about the free speech, especially when we have in some websites, you have a topic or you have a news report, and there is an open discussion. And people often comment. You have all kinds of people, comment. And there are often many people who have these crazy ideas or uses violence against other people. So that's a big issue, about the freedom of speech.
that's why I'm not saying to remove it, but to put a balance. So I never, it's free to talk, but
Right, but
yeah.
if we censor it, then we put we are degrading the freedom of speech, and that's how should we balance that? Because as I see it, the violence against women, for example, is a structural problem. It's in every organization, in every institution. So it's a very big issue, not only on the net that is manifested.
Okay. In my case, King Trump was free. He wrote 40 blogs about it. He never stopped him, but then stopped us from writing beside the woman. So that's how to balance it. So just so that you don't get one side of the story, you need to put aside what the all the time I thought she was really scamming this British. So I needed to get her side first. So it's important to get her side of the story. And another thing, just to report, if there's really violence involved here, to the proper authorities now, I know that there's a women's desk to report that. So the balance is really using the same technology. So if there's a forum, take it back. And, in the comments, I know there are a lot of comments, especially in Yahoo. We have such a thing now as curation. So you curate all those comments that will probably take some action against the violence. Just leave it. The comments are free to be shown. But with all the noise, you need to see which ones are relevant. Yeah. So that's how we can still respect the freedom of speech.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question from you. And I'm ready over there.
Hi.
Hi, good morning, ma'am. I'm Say Salvador, a student here.
Hi.
Ma'am, I have a question. It's regard to the, you said there, you posted there, I don't forward violence. So with regard to that, I'm just wondering, what are the inherent distinctions between reporting on violence and spreading on violence? Like, for example, the case of the LRT girl and the Carabuena, because both are from, bystanders probably just videoed them and then reported on something that happened. But I see the distinctions between the two. That one was just a verbal attack and the other was a physical attack. So how do you inherently place a distinction? Like, for example, you don't forward violence. Because personally, I think it was just the right to report. Personally, this is my opinion. Personally, it was right to report on the Carabuena incident because it was an attack on probably, I think, an MMDA officer is an agent of a person in authority, or probably a person in authority. I'm not sure. But I just think that probably when you attack somebody, like physical attack, you can report on it. Is it a reporting on, if I post, like, for example, a video similar to the Carabuena incident, am I spreading violence? I just want to be clear on the two. It's
really very different, the two. There's really a world of difference because there was, lost her temporary, the other one. The other one, there was some violation involved, so that can be reported. But it went overboard, right? Because his address and his phone number was placed there. So that's when we drew the line. In Twitter, some of us said, no, that's already abusing that. So people have to speak up and say no to doing that. Even Chris Lau, I was against that. When people spread it, at least it was the first time I found out. You don't make fun of this person. You know he is wrong, but you're even more wrong for making fun of him. So people need to take a stand, at least. Yeah, it's already spread. So people just have to say a stand when it's wrong. And use the same hashtag. So that's what we did for the Chris Lau, for the Carabena, and the Amalayar hashtag.
So,
And even with Islam, I also cited that.
so what actually bordered on violence was reporting on their personal circumstances.
Yes, right. Their privacy. I think we have we have some privacy even in public space, right? So that was violated. And especially the woman, she felt like she was threatened. She didn't want to go to school, according to her in the interview. So for me, that's like violence, or she was harassed.
Thank you, ma'am.
So we have a question given to us from one of the members of the audience. The question is, we are talking about gender-based violence, but I always hear about violence against women. How do you report violence against men? Are we just one-sided in favor of women?
I always get that question too, because that's what I also write about. I think that's a civil case, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. Actually, I have not encountered someone who really wanted to report a case against about the man feeling violated. I don't know. But that's always been a question, but no answer. I don't know if you here as lawyers can help me with the answer.
As I am not yet a lawyer, cannot give an opinion. However, Matt, just as a follow-up question. So, in your experience as a blogger, you've never encountered anyone who wants to publicize any violence about men, such as, for example, like male rape? No.
No, I've never encountered. Just a question. I had a lot of questions on women and their siblings or their wives. I think to ask also the students, do you have any problems that you might want to have questions about? High school, what is your social media country?
You want us to cover some of our students here?
There's also like, well, this is not that violence against. But yes, the response of social media, like high school, minsan they complain about their teachers. Something like that.
So we have other questions, ma'am. Okay, so this question is, expression in the internet has reached to the point that it is no longer a form of expression, but already an act, in my opinion. So how can the actor be made liable or responsible, including the search engine and the social media forum?
Responsible?
Yes, I think it's a question on the liability of the person who would. So how do you suppose as a blogger?
As a blogger, even before the cybercrime law, I was already aware of libel laws because I have been a lawyer. So I know I will get into trouble if I write libelous statements. So I learned how not to write libelous statements. So bloggers are also self-regulating. So I cannot dictate, hey, you should be writing this way. So what we have, and I need to educate, bloggers have their communities. In my community, Blogwatch, I don't agree with libel, and making a commentary without facts. So we need to be responsible. I also once was involved with a case with a TV host and a child who was dancing. I was the one who tweeted about that, and I said, this looks like, I didn't say he is. This looks like he violated child abuse, like that. I didn't say he is a child abuser, and another doctor got a libel case because of that, because he already accused. So I said, why wasn't I accused of libel? Because I wanted to have a test case. So hindi talaga ako na the libel. Although I did file a case against the TV host, and it's still pending the fiscal. So those things, you have to use words. Be careful about attacking without basis, facts, and usually I never get wrong. I always base it on facts and the law. I cite the law. Yeah.
For another question from our audience member, in your opinion, is making a meme considered a cybercrime? So, the meme.
That's like a satire, di ba?
The cartoons.
That's also, if it causes humiliation, especially for women, I think it might be wrong too. So it depends on the meme who's targeted. If it's a politician, I don't think it's wrong. I mean, I think, because and then there's something, I know that they are, there's limited for them. Like, I think there's really not much power when it comes to the public servants. I think even against some celebrities, they said they're public figures. There are some limits for public figures, but for private things like us, like spreading, I had like that, but I could not control it. I had also memes of myself. This guy, and he replaced fans and everything like that. So, people can just Google it. I don't want to waste my negative energy online. I'd rather use it positively and write about protecting women and how to use it, how you use technology to empower yourself. So I didn't waste my time with this person. And true enough, he contacted senators, congressmen about me. But people know, people write about you and say it's wrong. It will help you in the end. So I don't know if I answered that.
We also have one question. We have a question from the floor. Yes.
Good morning, ma'am. Your talk actually resounded in me, especially on the part on violence. And me also as a blogger, and I'm not very popular like you, but I have my own fears also, and sharing what I know or what I believe in. Because I'm a law student here in Ateneo, and if I try to share some of the ideas, I might get some slack or responses. And coming from a feeling side of point, because I understand the rational point. We're talking in law school about the marketplace of ideas, getting everyone on point or on conversation. But the feeling part of it, where suppose I make a blog and then I get one blog gets 100 dissents, and you get harassed. And being in law school, it's very hard to have negative feelings, and there's not a lot of time. So is it worth it? Anyway, what is it that you can share with us that makes this fight that we're talking about, the take back, the tech of speaking up, contesting, documenting, creating, what makes it worth it? Because with the slap that you're gonna get after, sometimes you think it's not worth it, and it's just better to stay silent or just not share.
I've been through that a lot of times, and it's really affects me here. So first of all, you need to moderate your comments and learn how to use blocking if there is a troll attacking you. The thing that drives me really is the focus. I have a goal, and that's really my passion. Although I have other blogs, I have like tech blog, shopping, and minsan I don't blog there anymore. I blog in the Citizen because I think I'm just really motivated to pursue this goal. And I'm not the only one. There are many bloggers. Like there's one on environment, there is one on internet freedom. They don't care about the criticism because they're more driven with getting the results that they want. Now. In Twitter, I have a lot of awesome trolls there, and I just filter them out, learn to use filtering. I filter certain words that I don't want to see in my timeline. Use TweetDeck, and I think there are others. So I have like a whole list of trolls and Twitter names, And then I think that came out during the Corona trial. They were all attacking me. So I got all their names. And then there was a recent one, a recent controversy. And then I found out that the same troll is back again. So they're there for certain issues, and sometimes I think they're being used by certain people. So I always look at the bigger thing, the bigger goal. I don't look at the negative. Is can really be a downer. So those things you need to avoid those things, and just continue doing what you feel is really good. And that's why there's also protection for the advocate about privacy. That's why I was telling you about the GPS and the tagging, security. I am also very careful of my security. I think I make sure that although I announce also on Twitter where I am, but in the end I'm not really scared. I think I just want something. I really just want something to happen. Actually, they're not a lot to our advocates, but what people can do is bring them together. There are some groups. There are many groups in online. We have the Free Thinkers, we have Pro Pinoy. There are many ground communities. So each of them can take your cause. You can just pitch the idea to them if you don't want to be in the public's eye. So that's what others do. They contribute stories to me, and I'm the one who brings it out. But for the violence against women, kulang talaga. Kulang yung reporting. And I need to know if the numbers are working again. Because occasionally I would check, because they're always asking my help. Even cyberbullying, they don't go to that and they ask me. So, kulang, the reporting of cyberbullying. But we really need people to help us to document.
But I understand we strengthen the advocacy,
Strengthen.
like some of the comments fly out the window, and then manage the thread.
Yeah, I should say. And make sure that you are not online all the time. And what I do, I go to the gym every day, so I'm always high. Endorphins, I'm happy. So I'm not angry when I tweet, I make sure na zen ako. Kasi if you're zen, like you see clearly, you're not. If I'm angry, I see fast. I get out.
Thank you, ma'am.
So thank you very much, ma'am. So due to the limited amount of time that we have, and of course we want all of you to hear our other speakers, some of the questions may be asked after our other speakers in our short open forum later, if there are any more questions. So thank you. Let's give a round of applause for thank you. Thank you very much. So as you can see from the talk from Ms. Noemi, sorry, I mispronounced it a while ago, Ms. Noemi, we can see that media has, or rather social media and the internet has affected a lot of our lives. Like, don't deny it. I know some of you have seen I'm a lawyer. Don't deny it. You know that we've seen that MMDA person, and we know that some of us have seen some other old cyber scandals like hidden call, was in the internet. So there are a lot of things going on in the internet. But seeing as people are affected in social media and the internet, and sometimes it's in a positive way, sometimes people are able to take back the tech and they're able to balance things out. It's still possible that people are affected negatively by what is happening in the internet and social media. So it is important for all of us here to understand how the government or the state would actually respond to this emerging issue. So our next speaker will be talking about government regulation of cyber crimes. Our next speaker holds a Master's on Information Technology from the Ateneo de Manila University, Loyola. Through this, she is able to serve the community through information technology. Our speaker is also the chief of the Special Task Force, AngelNet, and Public Information Officer, and part of the CIDG Anti-Transnational Cybercrime Division. Please give a warm hand of applause for Police Senior Inspector Joanna Gracia Manlacos.
Good morning, everyone. Well, gone are the days of snail mail, where we used to receive letters from our loved ones after weeks and even months, after even months. Diba? And do you still use this to send letters to your loved ones? Now we're just one click away, thanks to ICT, or Information and Communications Technology, and thanks to social networking, laptop.